Welcome to the channel, welcome to the vlog. You're watching HQ BMW. Links above for the delivery video on the C5 Corvette. It went amazing. Such a cool experience, and so happy to get the car back to Jason and Christine for them to absolutely enjoy. But as promised today, as I talked about, we are going to build a new front splitter for Stone. Just like we had on Quinn. Links above if you have not seen that video or you don't know who Quinn is or what we're talking about. Quinn was my previous F30 335 BMW that we totally customized and modified for a show car, and now we're building Stone to be at the same level. Let's get into building this new front splitter as I promised. So if you watched the first video on how to build a custom DIY front splitter, you'll know that we took the front bumper off the car. This round I'm going to try and do it with the bumper on the car. Fortunately for me, I can actually air the car all the way out and get the front bumper to almost sit on the ground. So now what I'm going to do is I have this piece of extrusion which is 2 inches wide. You can use a block, you can find a cardboard box, you can find something that is the dimensions that you want for the width of your front lip. And then I'm using a white China marker and we're just going to trace the front lip. Now you can see we've got the front lip traced out. Now we can get to cutting it out. So I'm going to be using the jigsaw to cut this out. I found it's the easiest for this ABS plastic. Cuts through super nice and is pretty clean. You can use a skill saw or a band saw or whatever works best for you. But this is what I found has worked for me, so I'm going to use this to get the shape cut out. So now it's your preference on how you want to finish trimming the outside. I'm actually going to use a pneumatic die grinder with a sanding disc and clean up the edges, and then I'll do a final sand with an actual orbital palm sander to get the edges really nice and smooth and precise. So this step's up to you. I mean, you can use a file, sandpaper if you don't have any power tools. Whatever suits you the best and whatever you're the most comfortable with is what I suggest you should be using. I got it all nicely shaped out to the shape that I wanted, what we traced out. And I'm not sponsored or affiliated by Quick Jacks in any way, but literally in 5 minutes or less, you basically have the jacks out under the car and up in the air working. It's so fast. They don't sponsor me, there's no affiliations with them at all. If you're a car guy for detailing, working on your own car, doing your own oil changes, swapping your own tires, seriously, it's worth every single penny. Every time I get to use the Quick Jacks, it just blows me away how simple and fast and easy it is, and it's safe. There's safety features built into the Quick Jacks, as well as I know that the car's not going to fall on me. So now let's get the new front splitter. We'll get it placed underneath the car, and we're going to figure out where and how we were going to bolt this up to the front of the bumper. So one of the challenges with the M3 is there's actually a rad underneath here that we don't want to block. We want that to get airflow and make sure that everything stays cool that's supposed to stay cool. So we're gonna have to figure out how we're going to mount that front lip under this carbon front splitter. It's taken a beating already for not even being on the car for like 6 months. That's another reason I really like running a front splitter, is it actually protects this carbon fiber splitter. So I think we're actually going to cut it out to the same shape of this front splitter. I know there's been a lot of comments on my F30 DIY front splitter, and a lot of guys are saying it's supposed to be chassis mounted, it's not going to hold up, it's not doing what it's supposed to do. I get it, but for me it's looks. The car's built to park. I'm not racing it. I understand that this front splitter is for racing, but it's not what I'm doing. So we're just going to fully send it and cut it out to this shape, and then we're going to use some riv nuts and some bolts and some large penny washers, get it bolted up into here. And then we also do have some splitter rods that I'll show you very shortly, and hopefully that's going to be secure enough and we don't rip the front splitter off or rip holes out, or yeah, I don't know, we'll see. But let's get to cutting out the inside portion of the front splitter. Some of the next tools that I'm going to be using, I understand you guys might not have. You might just have to elaborate on what you're going to be doing, on how you will do the next steps. You can use tape, double-sided tape, clamps, whatever works for you the best. But if you have these tools, you either fix race cars, build race cars, or build and i.e. fix airplanes. So I have these tools called clecos with cleco pliers. You drill the hole to the size of the cleco, you spread it out, and it's a clamping mechanism to hold two pieces of material together through the hole. Typically in aviation it's aluminum. Race cars, I believe it's aluminum, and then also plexiglass for the windows. But this is what I'm going to use to drill through the ABS and then into the splitter, and these will hold it temporarily while I get all the holes drilled. This is something that I do basically every day for my full-time job. It's fixing airplanes is what I do to actually afford the mods and the cars that I have. So I'm just gonna do this. You guys can basically pick up the holes and drill the holes as you see fit, but when I get to installing the fasteners on what we're using, I'll show you guys how I'm going to attach the splitter shortly. But let's get it drilled off. Here's what I was talking about. The clecos are holding the front lip to the carbon. Now I can pull it off and get the holes opened up for the riv nuts. So what we're actually going to be using to attach the front splitter to the front carbon splitter is, they're called riv nuts. So they are like, they're a blind nut that has a grip on them, and you use this tool to squeeze and compress them, and what happens is you get a flare that goes on the back side of the hole, so that now you have a tight fastener that it won't spin, and it's threaded and it's permanent. So we are going to get under the car, we're going to open up all the holes to the 3/8, put in these riv nuts, get them all squeezed, and then we just bolt the front splitter up. That way if we ever need to change the front splitter or we want to do something different, these fasteners are always there and it's really simple to change. So I'm going to get to squeezing all the riv nuts in there. The link for this tool and the actual riv nuts will be down in the description below. We got all the riv nuts installed. Now we can use the screws and get the front splitter bolted up there. There we go. Splitter complete. I did the same thing up here. Used some blind nuts and just screwed the rods into. Turned out pretty nice, I'd say. I'm happy with the results. So if you want to get the plastic, the 1/4" ABS, just Google ABS plastic in your area, and because of COVID, there are a lot of shops that are selling it because of all the protections and all the barriers and everything they've been put up. So hope you guys enjoyed today's vlog. Please like, comment, subscribe. Peace.